Hi everyone, and welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. I am your host Dazza for today, and we got a lot to talk about in a short space of time. Great news waking up this morning, but my guest today is one of my top 5 podcasts, as well as a few others. But it's great to have Dom on. He's from the Road End podcast. Please go check it out. He's had such great guests. What's great about it is it comes from the heart. It's stories that, you know, most people won't know about. And it's guests that you wouldn't normally have on a pod, which makes it even better. So, Dom, welcome first time on the pod for us. I know we've been going back and forth for a long time, and it's great to have you on, mate.
That's good to be here, Daz. Thanks for asking me, mate.
And it's so good to see the success that you're getting as well, and then you're on the telly now.
I know that was a bit out of the blue, to be honest. I just got an email asking me if I fancied interviewing for something. I was like, yeah, no problem. If you don't let me know what it is, and they were saying, well, I've got to sign an NDA before I disclose anything, and there's a few interviews, and then turns out I got the role to be the LFC face of William Hill. So, big betting company in England, in the UK. Let's just see how far it goes, I guess.
Yeah, I wondered if Tony's put a few quid on you. Naughty boy. But anyways, well, the great news this morning. I mean, obviously, I'm 6 hours behind yous, so you got the news first of Alexi McAllister. The medical was last night. Everyone was like, "Why is they doing a medical? In the nighttime? Who cares? Who cares what the medical is? It was done." And then the price, 35 million. I mean, that's pulled everybody's kecks down.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because I was I put this out on Twitter, I was a bit worried when I seen 65 to 70 million. Not because I don't think he's a good player, just because I think that'd be a big chunk of the budget, because we know what it's like at Liverpool. So when I seen 35 million from Fabrizio Romano this morning, wow, I nearly hit the deck. Yeah. 35 million for a World Cup winner and a proven Premier League midfielder. It's a fantastic piece of business, and I can't wait to see him in a red shirt.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing also, I think it's 100k week, which is mad as well. I mean, and then you look at like Mount, who looks like he'd probably go to United for 70 plus million, and he's asking, I'm seeing 200 to 250k. I mean, it's the overpriced British player inflation to me.
It's mental. So I don't understand. Yeah, sorry for talking over you there. I just don't understand the British mentality, to be honest with you, because yeah, Mount is a decent player, but I'd say that's as best as he goes. He does have a lot of potential as well, but if he can't get into a struggling Chelsea side, how's he going to get into a back in form Liverpool side? 70 million and 200 grand a week, not for me.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the same goes for, Rice is a damn good player. But I mean, what West Ham, should be asking that amount. He is their best player. But I mean, to pay the English tax of 100 plus for Rice as well. I mean, I think he's a London boy through and through. So I think he's going to either go to Chelsea or Arsenal anyways. So, he doesn't want to come down, northwest and hang out with Scousers. So, I think we've got an amazing deal with McAllister, and it's just great. You know how Twitter is. It's very toxic these days, and you still have some miserable bastards on there this morning just going, 35 mil, but he's not proven, and he's all this, and I'm like, well, he is proven in the Prem, which is a big plus for us as well, because we now know he can go straight in the team, can't he?
Yeah, like you said, you'll never please everyone, but I think the benchmark was Jude Bellingham. That's not happening now, so whoever was to come in next was going to take a little bit of stick. I think they would have had more pressure on the player and the club if we did pay 70 million, though. So 35 million for me, it gives the player and the club, it eases the pressure on both of the expectations to me. He's a cracking player. We've seen it. And, you know, don't get me wrong. I hadn't seen much of him before the World Cup. I'm not going to preach that I did, because I never. But then in the World Cup and then afterwards, you're thinking he's a player, and he is a player, and he's the link between the midfield and the forward line. And we've really struggled with that position for a few years now. The last player I think done that was probably Coutinho. Thiago in spells when he's fit. Elliott at a push. But yeah, he's got the capability to do and reach the heights wherever he wants. Defensive mid, a 6, a 8, a 10. He's got everything. So, you know, good luck to him. I can't wait to see him in a Liverpool shirt. I'm just excited by it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, we haven't had many goals from midfield. I think we've been missing that. You know, yeah, it's great to kind of rely on the front three, but, you know, last season and the season before, we had a front three that would score goals. You know, this past season, it's been all Mo, hasn't it? So you can't really rely on Mo every single match. So it's good to bring in a midfielder that can get some goals, you know. And like you said, with Thiago, I love Thiago. I do. I think he's mustard. But the problem is he can only seem to play 20 games a season. You know, he's our, and I hate using that word, though, our luxury player. He really is, you know. But with McAllister, he can play quite a few positions, which is really going to help us. And, you know, I still can't get over this 35 mil. I think I'll never get over it because, you know, the budget has been said, you know, it's maybe 150, it might be 200. You know, we never know. It might be 250, 300, but we're just spending it wisely. And, you know, whether you're FSG in or out, you've got to say this is a bit of smart business. And it's Julian Ward has been working on this. You know, it's not the new fella that's just come in for the week and he's, you know, all of a sudden he's like, that, you know, got a touch of gold. Julian Ward must have been working on this like probably for the last at least 6 months, I would say.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's as quick a turnaround as what we all think. I think the only reason we've wrapped it up so quick is due to the fee and the interest from elsewhere. Klopp's clearly spoke to him, and, you know, if Klopp asks you to sign for him and wear your heart on your sleeve for him, you're going to run through walls. You're going to do it. It's a massive signing for me. It's a massive signing, but a short fee. It's such a bizarre transfer. It's an exciting one, and you're thinking, why is it only that much? But obviously he's agreed this before the World Cup in his contract. So, yeah, I think there was always an eye on him. Of course there was. And, you know, there's no fire without smoke, or smoke without fire, whatever you want to say on that. It was definitely something that's been there for a long time. I just can't see Liverpool wanting to, let's say, prioritise a signing if it's not the one they want. Jude was clearly too much. And, you know, like you've said there, 35 million, hopefully that's a drop in the ocean of what we do or what we are going to spend, because it's needed. And FSG in or out, like you say, smart business is good business. So whether you look at them and you say they're tight, or whether you look at them and say they're not spending enough, I don't care. If the player fits what we need, spend what you have to spend.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we're all grateful for Klopp, because obviously these young players, they want to play in Champions League. And McAllister could have gone to United, could have gone to Arsenal, could have gone to City, but we're playing in Europa League, and obviously Klopp has sold him on the project, which, you know, I don't think it's a massive rebuild that we need, because I think the last 10 games we showed what we're all about, really. You know, it was a bad start to the season. You know, the World Cup, you know, every other team faced the same problems. You know, the World Cup's in the middle. So many matches. But for us, I think we were just knackered from last season, you know, mentally and physically. And I've said it before, I just think we look at these players as superhuman beings and not as just human like ourselves. And we look at them a bit like robots. And I can't imagine playing 63 games and, you're so close to winning everything. You're mentally and physically drained.
Yeah. I think with Liverpool as well, though, it's people just think, oh, it's 60 odd games, and people used to do that in the 70s and 80s. Well, you've also got to look at the intensity that we train at as well, because the likes of Man City, they're a different team, they're a different philosophy, they're a different style of play. So they can keep hold of the ball for 90 minutes. They might not score, they might score 5. They don't have to do much running. Liverpool's style and the whole thing about Jurgen Klopp has been intensity. So the training, the matches, the pressure, it all comes into one. And the season started bad, finished on a good note, just short, but we finished where we deserved to finish in the end. We didn't deserve top 4, in my opinion, regardless. So, there's a lot more than just a hangover. People have got to remember that he gets them in, and he gets them in twice a day. He gets them run through walls. They buy in it. They buy into this. And, all that talk about him out at certain times of last season just gone from absolute lunatics. I would rather sell my house and live on the streets than I've got sacked. Yeah. Honestly, it's just...
Well, it's one of those, isn't it? You'd rather some of these players go before Klopp.
Most of them, mate, other than Salah and Alisson.
Yeah, I just didn't understand. Like, it's just... I think it's a different kind of... I class, like, there's supporters and then there's fans.
Yeah.
Not necessarily when, supporters need to go to the match, but, they'll run through walls. They'll just do as the players do. They understand Klopp, and, things need to change, while fans are just fickle. I mean, people like, saying Klopp out and all this. I mean, I'm like, give your head a wobble. Like, I mean, let's say in 6 months' time, we're nowhere near the top. Questions will be asked, obviously. I mean, Klopp has to be criticised for this season as well. He thought we didn't need a midfielder. Tactically, I think he got some stuff wrong. Yeah, of course, criticise. But I mean, when you go, get rid of him, for who?
Exactly.
For who? Who's good enough? I mean, you can say Guardiola, but again, Guardiola, if you don't have a massive checkbook, he's not coming.
He's not working under FSG, mate.
No, I'd rather have somebody like Klopp, just heart and soul. But, like we all know, he gets Liverpool. He gets Liverpool Football Club. He gets Scousers. He gets the city. And that's what I love. And, I believe there's at least 2 more starters coming in. And then I would say 1 or 2 squad players.
Yeah, I agree. The Thuram and the Kone deals seem to be making a bit of noise, and they're French players together. There's a little bit of noise there, so who knows? But I can only see 1, if I'm being honest. I can't see 2 coming in. I don't know why. I just think the bigger picture of the Bajcetic, the Harvey Elliott's, the Curtis Joneses, let's say, I just can't see us going for an extra 2. I could be wrong, and one of them could be out the door. I don't know. But a defensive cover would be happy for me, because I feel as though Kanate tends to get an injury from time to time, which scares me, because I think without him in the side and next to Virgil, we do struggle. Gomez and Mata just don't seem to be at that level anymore. And obviously we need cover on the right-hand side, for depending on what Trent does. Once we know what Trent does, I think we know where our summer goes, because if he's moving into midfield, I can guarantee it's 1 signing. But if he's staying in that inverted fullback, there's got to be a fullback / right-hand side centre-back coming in. So it's interesting, but I feel like this summer relies on where does Trent end up.
Mm-hmm. I just think that Trent's going to play a couple of positions. It just depends tactically, But, we've also, I don't think we've thought about it. We've still got Ramsey, Connor Bradley's back. Are we going to use those as right back? And even Gomez. That's the thing. I can't trust Gomez as a centre back anymore. I just can't. As a right back, Yeah, maybe in Europa, maybe in League Cup, FA Cup, early rounds, I would play Gomez, push Trent up. But I'm with you as well. It all depends on where Trent's gonna eventually land, and I think Klopp's just gonna, tactically he's gonna probably just go, all right, for this match we need a Trent, a roaming Trent. For this match we need, a right back that can just defend. I mean, not that Trent can't defend, he can. We've seen it. Is he the best defender in the world? No. But he can defend. So I just think he gets shortchanged a bit. But, I wasn't looking forward to... I was done with the season, as a lot of people, I didn't want to talk about Liverpool. It's hard not to talk about Liverpool when you have a podcast, but you just wanted the season to end. And now with McAllister, I'm kind of getting me, mojo back. I'm like, right, this is sound. Like, I like this, because I feel like another signing is about to happen as well.
Yeah, it does. It does. It feels like we want it done early for pre-season, and I prefer that. None of this nonsense of stretching out till deadline day. I can't stand deadline day. It's the biggest farce in football, and I feel like the only reason you should be buying someone at deadline day is because you're panicking. Liverpool need to get these targets in early, need to give us a good pre-season, and then we can see where we're at going into the season. Then, like I said, none of this late in the window nonsense. Let's just get them in, bed them in, get them used to our style play quite early, and let's have a good season, because the McAllister one seems to, it's just giving me a big bit of kick up the backside. As you know, like you've just said, it's a difficult season, but, the signs were there. The last 10 games, drawed 7, drawed 3, lost 1, 7. Jesus Christ, I don't know what my words are. So, there's promising signs for next season, and I think it was important going into the summer that you had that sign as well. If we'd have had them up and down, draws, losses and wins, inconsistency going into the summer, I'd be worried about next season. But we got our mojo back. The summer's there. There's signings coming in. Bit of Deadwood's gone out, with all respect. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully we can book that hotel in Dublin. Because I've thought about this as well, and I'm like, because United will be out of the Champions League, believe me. We imagine us playing United in Dublin for the Euro final.
Scares me, that.
Yeah, I'd still book me ticket though.
Yeah, I think there'd be a big a line of swimmers from Liverpool across the across the Irish Sea, if I'm being honest with you, because how are you going to get a flight or a boat to there? God, they're going to have to find them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd love it. Dinghy, everything. I mean, just like the last one, in Paris, people going on dinghies and stuff is mental. But this has really pumped me up a bit. I don't think a lot of people really saw this coming for the price and stuff. And I think the same on these other players. I mean, Gravenberch has been mentioned as well. Always, smoke screens with Liverpool. And that's how I like, how we operate. I mean, we did it with Fabinho and same thing, Canute. It's just, I just love how we do business. I mean, I know there's lots out there. Just throw money at players. Just throw money at players and bring them. Again, like you're missing the whole point of what this club is about. We'll never be like City. We'll never be like Newcastle. We'll be like Liverpool, run properly. Because City for me, 115 plus allegations against them, can only go round in court so many years. The sustainability will not be much, I think. While Liverpool, you do it the right way, we'll still be at the top in 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, and it's just sad to see, when you listen to people just going, we need to act like City, put our big boy pants on. I'm like, you just don't get the club. You don't get the club that I support. You just don't.
That's it. Liverpool's been known to be culture, full of culture and fans as well. So the fans pretty much run the club in the nicest way possible. The last thing we'd like to see is an investment or capital come in and take over and just splash money everywhere, because in hindsight, that's great. We can all do that on Football Manager, but in reality, look at Chelsea. The tycoons come in, he took over, splashed his checkbook, look how big my balls are, and it's got them nowhere. So, shrewd, good, solid business is what we need, and investing for the future. So, like you said, the Kanates, the McAllisters, you've got Trent, Curtis Jones, Kelleher, who knows where he could be in the summer, Darwin, Gakpo. There's plenty to be excited about. So do it the right way, build again for the future. We know this is a building process, and if anyone's going to get it right, it's going to be Klopp.
Yeah, exactly. Hit the nail on the head. Well, I know you need to go soon. Anything? I know you've got season 3 coming up, which I'm looking forward to. Any hints? Or you keep mum's the word?
No, it's fine to drop hints. I've got no problem in that. I've got one of my favourite, probably actors, writers of all time, to be honest, in season 3 from Phoenix Nights. That'll be a massive hint, and everybody will know what that is eventually. So I couldn't believe I got it. People might think, but for me, it's who I grew up watching and listening to, and he's an absolute hero. I've got somebody from. I'm gonna bring this one out with no problem at all. I've got someone from the Hillsborough Survivors Alliance. Nice. The reason I brought them in is because of everything what's gone on. Obviously, with the shirt at United, which I don't really want to talk about in terms of what a gobshite. I've got them in because I feel like I want to get the message out there that, it's not just to talk about the football club. It's about everything what the football club stands for, and the morals that we've got as Liverpool fans and as a city and as people. That needs to get out there as well. So, I feel like that's going to be a big important message that I send out. And like I said, it's not just about, he played for Liverpool, he's amazing, and let's talk about his career. I like to get these people in to talk about why they are where they are. So, it's going to be exciting. I'm still getting guests together, but my first few are pretty much done. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, it's always like, I had a Hillsborough Survivor on. I mean, I had a few mates that went and one didn't come back. And it's really hard to listen to them. But it's something that needs to be kept on saying. I mean, the chanting that's been going on more and more is just disgusting. I'm not going to give the more on the time of day, the United, as you say, gobshite. But it needs to be discussed because the younger generation don't really know much about it. Maybe their dad.
So this is why I brought him on. I just feel like, this needs to be education now. People need to hear it, whether you like it or not. You need to hear it. You need to hear why it happened, what happened, the truth, and you need to understand that this can't happen again. So keep bringing this out, keep this fresh, keep this going in generations, and make them understand what happened that day and why did it happen and why we're hearing this nonsense week in, week out. But just so I'm not sure if you do know this, from next season, hate chants will be prosecuted. So the police have every right to charge these people. It will be a law. So that can only be good. Hopefully we hear less of it next season. And, with Leicester going down, I'm quite happy because they were one of the worst.
I just didn't understand that because, our away supporters brought stuff from the food banks to Leicester, and they have the audacity to mouth off. But enough of that. But I'm really happy with how well you're doing, mate. I'm like a big brother, so to speak, because I started my pod because of my granddad, and I know you started yours because of you lost your brother, and I'll probably bring you back on, to tell your story as well, because that's what it's about, and like you said, I mean, I'm chuffed to bits that I get former players on. But I'm more chuffed to bits when I get, Joe Schmo on, who has this incredible story. Like, you know, he went to Rome in 77 and you're just like, you know, wow. Like just the story of them getting there and everything. Or, you know, you have a steward that's worked at Liverpool for years, and, you know, it's just the stories that make it, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to be on to do that, mate. Everyone has a starting point, and my starting point was unfortunately due to the loss of my brother. So I needed to do something to turn my life around and to make sure I was on the right path. And this has worked wonders for me. This, I wouldn't call it a distraction. I would say it was something that just brought a positive out of a negative situation. So more than happy to do that whenever.
Nice one. Well, please go check out Dom's The Road End podcast. Seasons 1, season 2, and season 3 will be coming up. When's the new one out?
To be confirmed. July.
So you're taking a nice little.
I'm having a couple of weeks off. I'm going to schedule them for when I'm on holiday so that they can be released when I'm away, so I can just chill on holiday then.
Yeah, see, that's good. You need, like I told you, you just need a couple of weeks off. I mean, for me, this just keeps me going, especially with the kids at home now. I'm just like, I need the podcast, keep my sanity. So yeah, again, please go check out the Road End podcast. Just boss news this morning about McAllister, 35 mil. Couldn't have asked for an early Christmas present. So thanks for listening, and until next time, we'll see you later.